welcome to Shark Week. It was Shark Week when I recorded this video, and I didn't actually watch any Shark Week programming, but I did see it advertised somewhere and was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna draw sharks for my video this week. So here we are. I'm Jessie, by the way. And I'm just sketching out these sharks here, and then I'm gonna paint them with watercolor. So settle in and get comfy, or maybe grab your sketchbook and we can draw together. This shark gave me quite a hard time. I was really struggling with the perspective. For some reason, I spent a good 20 minutes trying to figure out where its face was supposed to go. And I just gave up and was like, whatever, this will be the bad one. It's fine. And it actually ended up being one of my favorites. So stick around for that twist. So yeah, like I said, I was inspired by the idea of Shark Week, even though I did not consume any Shark Week content. But something that I have consumed a lot of is shark movies. I'm a sucker for a super cheesy shark movie, what can I say? Any creature feature, really. But I've seen all the Sharknado movies, Jaws, of course, classic. Probably my favorite shark movie, though, is the one with Mandy Moore, 47 Meters Down. That movie, for real, gave me so much anxiety. And it had like this little twist that I did not see coming at all. So if you haven't seen it, I always recommend that one. Back when people used to have cable, in ancient times, the Sci-Fi Channel would do these creature feature movie marathons. And that was like my favorite way to spend a lazy Sunday afternoon on the couch, just binging some of the worst movies ever made. And speaking of creature features, over the weekend, my husband and I watched Death of a Unicorn, aka Jurassic Park with unicorns. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a silly, good time. And there were a lot of nods to other movies, but you could tell that it was heavily influenced by Jurassic Park, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. So that's fun. Yeah, but if you're into creature features and you haven't seen Death of a Unicorn, you should put that one on your list. So let's talk about how I did not want to paint these sharks at all. Like, I did. When I first had the idea, I thought that it would be fun, but when it came time to do it, I was like, why did I think that this would be a good idea? Why? This is not going to be a fun video to watch. It's going to be so boring. Everything on the page is going to look too similar. I need more variety. Nobody's going to want to watch this, blah, 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 blah. I had to stop myself. Like, no, we are not doing that. We are not doing that anymore. That kind of thinking took us to a really dark place creatively, and it took us a long time to climb back out of it, so we are not doing that. That sounds very dramatic, but it's true. I had a business selling my art, and I was just always trying to make stuff that I thought people might like. Like, I was just always trying to figure out, what would people want to buy? What would the algorithm like? And I was never making anything just because I wanted to, just because I would like it, just because it was fun, it sounded fun. And so I got into this really, really stuck place, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I've been working my way out of that place, and it's going really well, so I don't want to end up back there. So then I thought, well, what if I wasn't trying to make a good video? What if I just wanted to practice drawing some sharks and practice using my watercolors, and I just happened to set the camera up while I was doing it? What would that look like? So that is this video, and I thought it presented a good opportunity to talk about the resistance that can show up when we're trying to do our creative work. It's something that I have always dealt with, and I know that I'm not the only one, right? Resistance can show up for a lot of different reasons, but I think for me, it comes when I'm thinking too far ahead of where I'm at. I'm thinking too much about where I want to go instead of just being where I am in the current moment, and just thinking too much in general. I'm a chronic overthinker. You know how it is. And in those times, I just need to turn the brain off and start doing something, which is what I was eventually able to do here with this video. And I'm really glad that I did, because I really love these sharks. I'm so happy with how they turned out, and I had a really good time painting them. And I'm just really glad that I didn't let that resistance that I was feeling stop me from making this video. I used to take that feeling of resistance as a bad sign, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I don't even like drawing. Maybe I'm actually not a creative person and I should just give up. Like, why is it so hard? It shouldn't be this hard to do a thing that I want to do. But I don't believe that anymore. I just believe that it's part of the process. And it's a part of the process that sucks. It's a part of the process that I don't love, but it does not mean that I should quit. It just means that I need to practice feeling stuck and moving myself to action anyway. One of the reasons that I was trying to talk myself out of painting these sharks is because it just didn't seem creative enough. I've been wanting to make work that's more like concept-based, or something based more on my own original ideas. And I know there's nothing truly original. There's nothing new under the sun and all of that, but I really admire when someone is able to put a clever little twist on something, or they can make a connection that I wouldn't have made. And I just want to do work like that. Nothing deeply profound or anything, but just stuff that has more of a unique perspective, something more than just drawing straight from a reference. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that, and that's how we learn. But even just to make a composition of things rather than just one individual little illustration of a thing or an animal or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but anyway, this was just more drawing from references. So I was convincing myself that it wouldn't be worth my time because it's not where I want to be with my art. But the thing is, yeah, maybe it's not where I want to be, but it's where I'm at, and I don't have those more original ideas yet. But they won't come from sitting around wishing I had better ideas. They will come from doing the work. They will come from making lots of art, drawing lots of things, making mistakes, making things that I like, you know. And it's just like, when you're busy, when you're using your hands and you're not in your brain, that's when ideas come. So that's why it's important to move through those feelings of resistance and get to the other side. So this is probably going to sound really obvious, but something that strengthens the resistance is feeding into it, letting it stop me from moving forward. Because what you practice, you get better at. So it makes sense that if I'm practicing giving in to the resistance every time it comes up and I'm doing nothing, I'm going to get really good at that. But if I practice feeling the resistance and going ahead and making some art anyways, I can get better at that. And it's not an easy thing to do. And sometimes I'll even forget in the moment that I'm working on not getting stuck in that place. But when I can remember, I do have a few little tricks in my back pocket that help me get over that hurdle. And I'm going to share those with you. And maybe they'll be helpful when you're feeling a block, or you're procrastinating, or you can't get motivated, or whatever you like to call it. Okay, the number one way that I basically get anything done ever at all is to break the task down into the absolute smallest possible first step, and then tell myself that that's all I have to do. So when it comes to drawing, I tell myself, all I have to do is walk into my office. All I have to do is pick up my pencil. All I have to do is sit in my chair. Don't have to do anything else, just go sit in the chair. And then once I'm in my chair with a pencil in my hand, I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this. What was I even worried about? This is fine. I could do this for hours. There's some days when I'll start drawing and I'll get 5 minutes in and I'm like, man, this is not going to happen today. And that's okay. At least I gave myself the chance, and at least I broke through that initial resistance that was holding me back. And that's what matters. That's what we're practicing. So the next thing that helps me is similar, but it's different, which is just to make the process so easy that I have no excuses to back out. And what that looks like for me right now with my art practice is using materials that require no preparation, no setup, no cleanup. I can just leave them laying on my table and come back and pick them up and get right to work whenever I feel like it. So I'm using colored pencils, markers, a water brush to use with my watercolor palette. The fewer barriers there are standing between me and making some marks on a page, the better. And this works for any habit that I'm trying to form, by the way. Like I'm thinking about working out. I started lifting weights. And when I first started, I was doing just 10-minute workouts with like 5-pound dumbbells. And now I'm doing 30-minute workouts with heavier and heavier weights each week. In the beginning, it seemed like such a little amount of effort that I was like, is this even doing anything? Is this pointless? Is this even doing anything? But it wasn't pointless. It was building consistency. And that is the most important thing when you're starting a new habit. So just do whatever it is that's going to make it easy for you to show up and keep the momentum going after you make the decision to take action. Excuse my dog squeaking her toy. All right, so the third thing I wanted to talk about that helps me is the one that I used to get this video done, which is don't try to make anything good. Maybe even take it a step further and actively try to make something bad. One of the biggest things that gets in my way, and I think it's probably pretty common, is the fear of making something bad. But if I'm trying to make something bad on purpose, then it doesn't matter. It just takes the pressure off, and it gives me permission to be messy and have fun and just let the creativity flow. So those are the top 3 things that help me take action when I'm feeling stuck. If you relate to this at all, let me know. And if you have some other tips that you'd like to share that someone else might find helpful or that I might find helpful, go ahead and leave a comment and let us learn from your wisdom. And just something else to keep in mind, and I am speaking to myself here too, is just that it's always worth it. It's always worth it. Even if it feels like it's not going to be, even if it doesn't turn out well, every time I make something, I feel way, way better than when I don't make anything. And I'm so happy that I painted these sharks. I think they're so cute. And I'm just really, really loving using watercolor. It's not something that I ever thought that I would enjoy, and I'm surprised by how much I really do enjoy it. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for listening to me yap, as they say. I struggle a lot to find the words for what I want to say, and I struggle to get them out of my mouth. So this practice is also really important for me, and I just appreciate you for hanging in there with me and giving me the chance to work on expressing myself. I hope that you hit that subscribe button and come back for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.